Welcome to our 2021 DIA one-on-one video series. I'm here with Jason Casarella, Executive VP, Business Development and Marketing at Advanced Clinical. So nice to see you again, Jason.
Hi, Taryn. It's great to be with you again.
I'm ready to dig into a couple of hot topics. We know with all the advances being made in terms of clinical trial technology, there are going to be new skills that are going to be needed as the industry moves forward. What do you think those are going to be in terms of the next level of adoption?
Well, I think with decentralized clinical trials and hybrid clinical trials, there's going to be really a need to incorporate and appreciate all of the different parts. And by that, I mean not only an eye for the data and appreciation for understanding the data, but also making sure that sites continue to receive good support, because we all know that you can't have clinical research without high-performing clinical trial sites. We can't overburden the sites. We always have to make sure that we keep an eye on patient safety and patient eligibility as we incorporate these new technologies. Technology also doesn't necessarily mean 100% remote. Certain organizations are deciding certain parts that they can incorporate into their trial planning in a more hybrid manner. And I think in terms of the professionals that are supporting the industry, there's going to be a greater emphasis on a growth and learning mindset. We're all learning as we go. Last year taught us so much about drug development and a willingness to kind of learn from mistakes a little bit and not be afraid to share those learnings. We also can't forget about good communication. I think it may be old-fashioned a little bit, but all of these hybrid work environments, we have to have strong written and verbal communication skills. And I think lastly, something else that we've been thinking about is there's going to likely be a strong convergence between IT professionals and technology-minded professionals with those from clinical research. It's really a skill set that we hadn't seen accelerate the way we did last year, and I think that's going to create new career potentials for lots of people in the industry.
I think that's an exciting insight to hear because as we see these young professionals moving into the workforce, this is really going to be a skill that's going to be in demand.
Right.
Awesome. Jason, we also know that collaborations are happening across the board, some between natural partners and some between natural competitors. How can a more collegial collaborative ecosystem help patients in the long run?
Well, I think we learned in 2020 and the rapid acceleration in the development of the vaccines that really anything is possible. And in a challenging year, it was also a very exciting year. And old ways of working and lining up workflows that were done in parallel as opposed to sequential really accelerated progress. And that was very exciting. And it also, I think, elevated positively the public perception of how drug development works. I think keeping knowledge siloed can be used as a competitive advantage for companies, but what we learned is that there's really no company that is exceptionally strong at everything. We all have to be aware of perhaps some knowledge gaps or service gaps and understand that there are so many strong players in this ecosystem in clinical research and understand how to best leverage those partnerships. I also think that all of us here in the industry really want the same thing. We want the best treatments possible for our patients and their families and the safest, most well-controlled clinical trials. And I think combining forces now more than ever just makes sense so we can bring those treatments to patients in the most effective way.
I think that's a great point that no one company can do it all really well if we want to move quicker and with the appropriate amount of safety as well. So
Right.
I think these are all great advancements coming out of COVID. DCT, as you noted, is the talk of the town right now. Aside from this area of focus, what is the biggest trend you are tracking going into the second half of 2021 and into 2022?
So something we've seen, Taryn, is that protocols continue to become more and more complex. So this idea of fail fast obviously is very important from a business perspective, but we've seen many companies trying to design studies with really the greatest bang for their buck. So multiple arm studies with different site and country configurations per arm with multiple outcomes and different endpoints. These trials are becoming a bit more complex. So that's causing a little bit of a change in how we respond as a service provider, how we work with vendors to really try to optimize the way that we build the response so that we can execute the protocols in the most effective way, but also making sure that we are maintaining patient safety and patient centricity. We see a lot of this in oncology and rare disease, multiple arms, staged approaches. A lot of basket design trials are becoming more and more popular. And with this greater emphasis on study complexity is going to really require a strong multidisciplinary team of experts. So back to my earlier comment about how to remove the silos and work across the collaboration of the vendors. This is another reason for that. So just understanding what possibilities are out there in terms of the industry, evaluating risks. I don't think that technology on its own will solve all of these requirements. So it's the intelligent application of the technology, certain vendors, and then the clear thinking that our experts will bring to clinical trial execution.
Jason, thank you so much. As always, you identify what we need to be looking for and what we should be thinking about as we go forward. Thank you so much for being part of our one-on-one video series.
Thank you again, Taryn. Good to be with you today.